It's hard to be very empathetic and have a strong connection if you don't see and hear someone for a long period of time. And people default to using their devices.
Don't accept what you see with your eyes. Look for something deeper.
We underestimate how artificial it is to have a constant companion. You're doing this because you're like, I want to feel accepted. But by doing this all the time, you're actually feeling less connected and less accepted.
We're absorbing too much information on our phone. Naturally, we're thinking about ourselves. Getting outside of yourself and finding other people more interesting than yourself.
Use technology as a bridge to human interaction. Don't let it be a barrier to the very relationships that you need to survive. And so people tap their phones over 2,600 times a day. They look at their phones every 12 minutes, sleeping with their phones, which isn't healthy.
And so I think this sort of low-grade hum of anxiety that so many people feel today is actually lack of solitude. So every time you have a down moment, you're looking at social media. You don't get the downtime that your brain needs just to do all the things it expects to have time to do.
But there's actually an insecurity, a self-doubt, where you're trying to please people and maybe you go a little extra hard.
If you go back to the beginning of the iPhone in 2007, there was nothing about this tech that meant for you to look at it all the time. Right? Steve Jobs was a minimalist. His whole thing was, I want to take something that's really important to you, and then I want to make the experience beautiful. That was smartphones. It was this beautiful tool that you brought out occasionally to do specific things.
Yet I find, especially with people my age, everyone is not only looking for validation, they are afraid, they have true fear to leave a relationship because they don't want to be lonely. They have fear of being judged, so they just stay online.
We're watching the same world, the same reality, but we experience it differently. So you have an attitude that colors what you see, and some people have an attitude that tends towards the negative. You have certain beliefs, certain ideas about life, and you're not willing to change them. And so you want an attitude that's expansive, where you accept people, you're not always judging them, you're not negative about them, you understand that people can't necessarily help who they are.
And this is when we got the likes and the retweets and the favorites and the photo auto tag. So now every time you hit this app, you could see some indications. Are people approving of me? Or people thinking of me? And that's what changed our relationship with the phones from this Jobsian vision of this is a beautiful object that does a few things really well into I have to look at this when I'm walking the dog. I have to look at this, when I'm in the bathroom. I have to look at this when I'm in the line. There was nothing fundamental about the tech that said we need to be looking at this all the time. That was essentially a business model.
And the research shows that people should have some alone time and then sometimes a collaborator be with other people. And the healthy balance of both is really important. So technology can bring you closer together, it can make you more human, it can create more opportunities for you. But at the same time, if we're always overusing and misusing this technology, it can bring us further apart and damage our relationships.
Their issue was autonomy. People were feeling like, I am losing control over my life. And that's why I'm upset. Not that this is always bad, but it's that I'm doing this more than I should. I'm doing this more than is useful. I'm doing this more than is healthy. I'm doing this to the exclusion of things that I know are much more meaningful. I feel manipulated, like how I feel, my emotions, that somehow these algorithms are changing how I feel. And so the argument is, I'm losing my autonomy as a human being.
The problem in our culture is it's a burnout culture. People are working more hours, especially with technology. People are working nights, weekends, and vacations. Not having your phone is the new vacation, right? Because there's a guilt feeling, there's a convenience feeling, and an addiction.
Number one need that humans have, I want you to remember this, is to feel validated by other people. We can feel good about ourselves, but if we don't get that from other people, if they don't validate that we're smart, intelligent, independent, it's hard to feel that. So we're all craving that validation.
And so true productivity is on an individual basis. And if you waste too much time doing things that are not giving you the benefits just because it's a distraction, Getting to know yourself, that's why fulfillment's important. It's the self-awareness, and then it's putting together a schedule to reflect what you want to get out of your day, week, month, quarter, year.
Competent person who has a skill is sort of quiet and easy. The non-competent person is out there yelling into the void online. So Generation Z, which is the first generation to have sort of ubiquitous access to smartphone and social media as they enter their young adolescence. This generation, that's where anxiety-related disorders were literally off the charts. Not useless to be on Facebook, but it's not the issue. It's that this has become so compulsive. What do we need to flourish as human beings? You do activity that has intrinsic quality, right? So you go out there I want to do things with my time that itself is high quality, and there's value in just doing that. And then in your professional life, you look to make impact.
New research shows that open offices are bad for human interactions. So if you're not getting your alone time, if you're always hearing and seeing people in the office, you're very distracted. But if you're not getting that, and you don't get any human interaction, that extreme can hurt you as well.
I mean, when things become dangerous in our life is when you start using them to escape harder things that you don't want to confront.
People are most creative in conversations with other people. People make you more creative, not sitting and looking at a wall, not looking at your computer all day or your device.
So we're wired to be very fulfilled when we can take an idea and manifest it in the physical concrete world. Which is why there's a type of fulfillment we get when you knit something or you carve something or whatever it is that you don't get on a screen.
We are not given natural guidance in life. We could wake up and we could not go to work tomorrow. We could suddenly do whatever we want if we felt so inclined. So we have to create our own sense of purpose, and that purpose can't come from the outside.
Mm-hmm.